Jason Becker, wishing he could have given his David Lee Roth album 100%. Jason Becker's time with David Lee Roth came at what should have been the beginning of a major new chapter in the young guitarist's career. Instead, it became the backdrop to one of rock music's most heartbreaking stories. Becker was only in his early 20s when David Lee Roth recruited him to become the lead guitarist for his solo band, following in the footsteps of Eddie Van Halen and Steve Vai. Roth had already established a formidable reputation for surrounding himself with extraordinary musicians. After leaving Van Halen in 1985, he launched his solo career with Eat 'Em and Smile, featuring Vai and bassist Billy Sheehan, before making Skyscraper with the same core lineup. When Vai departed to join Whitesnake, Roth needed another guitar virtuoso capable of carrying the weight of those expectations. Becker was a natural choice. He had already made a name for himself alongside Marty Friedman in the technically dazzling guitar duo Cacophony, and had released his acclaimed solo album Perpetual Burn in 1988. Roth reportedly saw Becker's talent firsthand during his audition and brought him into the band for what became Roth's third solo album, A Little Ain't Enough. But shortly after Becker began work on the record, his life changed dramatically. He had been experiencing pain and weakness in his leg, and doctors eventually diagnosed him with amyotrophic lateral sclerosis, ALS, also known as Lou Gehrig's disease. The diagnosis came when he was just 21. Doctors told him he might have only 3 to 5 years to live. Remarkably, Becker continued recording. He completed his guitar parts for A Little Ain't Enough even as the disease began weakening his hands. He later recalled that his physical limitations were already affecting his playing, forcing him to adapt his technique. The album was released in January 1991, with Becker and Steve Hunter providing the guitar work. For Becker, however, the record represented something more than a successful session. It was a glimpse of the career he might have had. He had been handed the opportunity to follow Vai and become one of the leading guitarists in hard rock, only to have ALS take away his ability to perform. Becker was ultimately unable to tour with Roth. Over the following decades, ALS robbed him of his ability to walk and speak, yet it never stopped him from creating music. He learned to compose using computers and communicate through eye movements, continuing to write and release music long after the 5-year prognosis he had been given. Looking back on A Little Ain't Enough, Becker has expressed the feeling that he wished he could have given Roth in the album 100%. Considering how rapidly his condition was progressing while he was making the record, what he actually accomplished is remarkable. Rather than being the end of Jason Becker's musical career, A Little Ain't Enough became an early chapter in an extraordinary story of creativity, perseverance, and survival.